soon. We've gotten some very interesting information about the Las Vegas Mandalay Bay shooting. Just recently, I was sent a video of a person who's talking about the real Anonymous hacking the computers of the Las Vegas Police Department. Normally, I don't really pay much attention to this kind of video, but two things are very interesting. One, the guy is actually showing his face, and that means he's delivering a sincere message and he's not trying to hide anything. Secondly, it confirms something we already know about Stephen Paddock, the alleged shooter, and his connections to the FBI. So let's watch.
I just got some information from a friend I've known my whole life, more than 20 years. He's friends with Anonymous. I mean the real Anonymous, the ones that are actually doing the hacking, not just normal people who join Anonymous. Well, anyway, he sent me some screenshots of what Anonymous has put out on the internet. Evidently, Anonymous has hacked the Las Vegas Police Department's computers, and they found some notes being sent back and forth between the FBI and the police. I'm going to put it all up on the screen for you guys, and I'm going to go over it in 1 second. I'm just asking you guys to do one thing. You need to share this video everywhere, because I have to title the video strangely, or Google and YouTube will flag it, pull it down, and delete it. So nobody's going to want to click on this video, and nobody's going to see this video if you guys aren't sharing it, because it's titled so weird. But anyway, let me just jump right into it. I'm going to give you guys the information. After I give it to you, I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm going to put it on the screen so that you can see where it was sent, so you can track the information down for yourself. Okay, so this is probably the realest we're ever going to get from the Las Vegas thing, this information hack. Stephen Paddock was an FBI agent supplying arms to ISIS inside the USA. The LVMPD knows the motive behind the attack, but the FBI will not allow us to release the motive because it implicates the FBI in illegal arms deals and supplying arms to ISIS terrorists inside the U.S. borders. Stephen Paddock was an undercover FBI agent who participated in multiple illegal arms deals in the Las Vegas area in a gun-running entrapment scheme similar to Fast and Furious. Paddock thought he was engaging in another routine arms transfer. But ISIS had learned about the entrapment scheme and Paddock's true identity. They killed him and carried out the massacre and then fled the scene.
What we already knew about Paddock was he was an undercover FBI agent. And what was really going on here was gun running between Saudi Arabia and ISIS in the United States. We also know Saudi Prince Al-Walid, who was arrested, confessed to his attorney through an email that he had sent snipers to Mandalay Bay, which also confirms more than one shooter at the location, as eyewitnesses have already said. However, I want you to take a close look at this video. There's a woman talking to the host of a show describing his supposed eyewitness account. See if you notice any problems here.
CCTV camera feed of the Las Vegas Strip viewing the stratosphere from the Little Vegas Chapel. This is a live CCTV feed of the Las Vegas sign. Most people know that Las Vegas is a city that is synonymous with casinos, crime, and cameras. Lots of cameras. Cameras for constant surveillance, that is. You just can't have people unmonitored in Sin City. But how many cameras does Las Vegas have? I can't find a definitive figure, but in a Network World article back in 2008 entitled Casino Insider Tells Almost All About Security, Jeff Jonas, who helped build numerous casino security systems and knows the gambling industry inside and out, said, "A casino like the Bellagio probably has 2,000 cameras connected to 50 monitors, with just a few people watching live surveillance. But the information is there to be scrutinized when casinos notice players winning unusually large amounts of money. Well, how about when there's an event that would end up being called the largest mass shooting in U.S. history? Why can't we scrutinize that footage?" This article was written back in 2008, guys. 2,000 cameras in one hotel? This is the NevadaDOT.com website where you can view the map location of the traffic cameras in Las Vegas. At least the cameras they want you to know about. As I zoom in, keep in mind, these are just the traffic cameras. This doesn't count the multitude of cameras mounted at different points outside of each hotel or business for additional security purposes. As I was researching Benjamin Frank's video, which was shot from the MGM Grand looking south toward Hooters, I began to zoom in on different areas within that video. This is a zoomed in view focusing on the front of Hooters where the ambulance activity is especially concentrated. At 10 times the normal speed, you can observe the movement and direction of people and vehicles a little more easily. This is the view of the parking lot on the west side of Hooters. You would think that the injured concert goers would have made their way around this side or the east side of the building because it looks like this wall in the back would keep people from entering, especially if they were injured. A couple of you guys emailed me this article from NPR about a blackjack dealer named Shonda Bennett who was working at her table in the Hooters Casino Hotel. Here's the phone interview.
Shonda Bennett was working last night at the Hooters Casino Hotel in Las Vegas when the shooting started. That casino's close to the concert venue where last night's attack happened. Shonda Bennett is a blackjack dealer. She had 2 players at her table when the shots started. She says she put the cover on her table and then hid underneath. And then people started running into her casino, people who were running away from the shooting. She described it to me earlier today when I talked to her on the phone.
There was no plan of evacuation or action whatsoever. Like, we had no idea what the hell we were supposed to do. Some of the girls ran out into the chaos. They ran out of the front doors.
Some of the people you work with?
Yeah, you could hear the gunshots outside. So when you're going through this and you're at work, I mean, literally, we're in Las Vegas, so it's like, do I lose my job? Like, what do you do? Like, how much do they carry? Like, this is a 24-hour city. You know what I mean? There's no excuses for them to not open their doors. You get what I'm saying? So while all of this is going on, I'm like, do I leave? Do I stay? But I'm seeing people coming in with split wounds in their bodies. There's people with busted knees, everything. Like, it was just horrible. There's blood everywhere. You have people hiding under the tables of the casino, like literally in the pit. Normally, like, I don't know if you've ever gambled before, but nobody can come in the middle of the pit. We had people everywhere. They were acting near the cage with us. So the doors that we go in to, like, count our money, we had them in there with us. They were back in the employee dining room. They were everywhere. They were in hallways. They were everywhere.
How many people do you think? I mean, did you see?
People? I saw at least 400 people. How many wounded people? It was at least 70 wounded people. I mean, we had Metro all out in the front. There were bodies in the front of the casino that was just laying there. People that ran from the venue, they just died right there.
So what else did you do? So you hid under your table for a while, then you got up, then you heard the gunshots, and you got back down on the floor.
I got back down on the floor, and then this is when people are still running in. Like, this is when people are still running in. Like, this lasted for a good 20, 25 minutes. It had to. It probably was longer than that, but the amount of people that was running in was all night.
Now, I have a couple questions. Where did all these wounded and dying people come from? How did people who were so critically wounded that they ended up dying make it this far from the event? As the crow flies, this would be at least a 650-yard journey for someone who is mortally wounded. That's over 2 football fields away. When you look northward at the venue, you realize that the most direct path people could have taken from the concert area to the back of Hooters is this route right here. In this video right here, you can see people pouring out of this eastern gate of the venue. This is the eastern gate on Google Earth. As the cameraman is leaving amidst the crowd, you can see people trying to get away from the sound of gunshots, but you don't see anybody hurt or in distress like you think you'd see if a person was actually shot. You don't see any family members or friends freaking out. Just a crowd that's eager to get away from possible danger. This crowd is heading in a northern direction toward Hooters, but the cameraman ends up making a western turn and ends up back near the Luxor. I encourage you guys to closely look at this entire video. There's no one on the ground, no one being carried, no one limping or crying out in pain. At the very end of the video, as the cameraman walks near the Luxor, you can see a group of people standing around a person on the sidewalk, but that's it. This group of people heading in the direction of Hooters appears to be injury-free. At the 37-minute mark in Benjamin's video, you can hear a witness on the hotel room TV say that ambulances were coming up to the Mandalay Bay Hotel to pick up the injured. So it was apparently possible for ambulances to get much closer to the alleged shooting area than Hooters. Why they stopped at Hooters is not clear to me at this point, especially given the health of the crowd that appeared to be moving in that direction. Where did all the injured and dying people come from? Where is the video evidence?
Now, what I noticed about this time frame tape of the traffic cameras, as the eyewitness was talking, There's nobody going in and out of Hooters, which is a little distance from the entry or exit area of Mandalay Bay. There's no crowd rushing in and out as she's talking in this video. This is what she's saying. And as far as I can see, there's no activity at all except a really slow flow of traffic. And this guy has speeded up this video too. There's a slow flow of traffic between the ambulances and they're going in the direction of Mandalay Bay. Now, so far, no one else has been arrested in connection with this shooting. However, there were 2 reports of gunfire, one at the Bellagio and the other at an area hotel. And when I say area, I mean ARIA hotel. Reports of other shooters. Renee Downs, who was staying at the Bellagio, has a video, which is below, and I found it interesting. She also says her room was comped because of the shooting at the Bellagio, even though the hotel staff were denying it. In this video, she's talking about hearing gunfire and the sound of broken glass at the Bellagio. You wouldn't hear gunshots or glass breaking if nothing had actually happened there. Once again, this confirms multiple shooters because Paddock was already dead at Mandalay Bay when the stuff happened at the Bellagio. Putting all of this together, here's what the truth seems to be. And again, you'll have to put the evidence together yourself. I'm going to give you the information. It's up to you to put all of this together on your own. The Saudis and ISIS made a deal through a go-between who was Paddock, an undercover FBI agent. The guns were obviously at Mandalay Bay and were going to be turned over to ISIS through Paddock. Before the deal could be made, the ISIS contacts found out Paddock was an FBI agent. With cooperation of the Saudis, ISIS assassins murdered Paddock and framed him for the 58 deaths they were responsible for. They're the ones who did this. This filled several purposes. There's no way ISIS was going to be able to get that many guns out of Mandalay Bay without anybody seeing them because their deal had gone wrong. It was compromised already. The best way to get out of the entire situation is frame Paddock, make it look like Paddock was a mental case and had a bunch of weapons specifically there to kill people. You kill Paddock, he can't deny the spin. Since the left is so hell-bent on trying to disarm regular citizens and stepping on our Second Amendment rights all the time, it appears the Democrats and left-wing wackos jumped right on the situation to further their oppressive agenda. I'd say, actually, that inanimate objects aren't able to do anything unless a person actually makes them function. But since we saw Chuck Schumer today giving a pathetic speech on taxes, yes, inanimate objects can apparently talk, but they can't do math. Therefore, we're seeing once again the manipulation and corruption involved in federal government and the disinformation which we're given. This is why this should matter to you. And before you ask, did President Trump know? Let me say, if you think the Trump administration isn't draining the swamp, you're not paying attention. Also, I have said over and over again, President Trump has been ahead of the game all the time. He's fully aware of which government entities are actually loyal to the American people and him. Events such as this are very tragic, and it's not what our government is supposed to be doing. However, in order for President Trump to arrest these people, the powers that be, he and his team will not be able to stop every single thing that happens. It's just impossible for him to do that. In fact, we can prepare, we can plan, we can infiltrate, we can usurp. However, we are not going to be able to stop every attack. I want you to look at something QAnon he just posted. I think it's very interesting, and it's exactly what I've been saying since analyzing the Mueller investigation. Look at this. This is QAnon. Down the rabbit hole. The special counsel is not corrupt. Let me say that again. The special counsel, headed by Mueller, is not running a corrupt investigation. He's doing the job properly under the guise of investigating the Trump team. This has lowered the guard of the true targets because nobody anticipated it, including the media. This goes hand in hand with Mandalay Bay, the sealed indictments, the nervousness of Democrats and those who support them, as well as the arrests of MS-13 gang, the federal raids, which we've been seeing take